All right, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Fully Tilted. I am your host, Raythrill, and today we are going to do a deck tech on our black and red land destruction control deck. So let's take a look at what we got. All right, so going down the list, and the one-drop slot, we have two Divest. This is really for us to pick apart our opponent's hand and remove any creatures or artifacts that player might have in their opening hand. We have two Duress, same idea as Divest, except this time we're looking at non-land cards, non-creature cards, so looking at instant sorceries, enchantments, things of that nature. And the great thing about both these cards, later on in the game, once we have flipped a Primal Amulet, we can cast both of these twice for 1 mana each, which is really, really nice. We have two Argyle's Bloodfast, and this is to allow us to draw some cards in the late game, and also once we flip it, combos real well later on with one of our finishers. We have 4 Lightning Strikes. This is creature removal and one of our finishers, actually. Once we flip a Primal Amulet, we get to do 3 damage for 2 mana, which is pretty sweet. We have 3 Doomfall. Again, pick apart our opponent's hand. The whole point of this deck is literally to deny our opponent from doing anything. So we remove their lands, we remove their hand, and they'll literally sit there twiddling their thumbs until they're ready to rage quit. That's about it. We have 3 Sweltering Suns. This is a great sweeper. That deals 3 damage, and if we ever face a control deck, we get to cycle it for 3 mana, which is really nice. We're playing 3 Vraska's Contempt. This is just prime removal, right? Removes a creature or a planeswalker and gains us back 2 life. Also with a Primal Amulet on the field, it's only 3 mana as opposed to 4, which is really nice. We are running 4 Demolish, just your classic artifact or land destruction, 4 mana, destroy target artifact or land with a Primal Amulet on the field. It's only 3 mana. With a flipped Wellspring, we're looking at doing this twice, which is really nice. Violent Impact kind of acts as Demolish 5 and 6. Except it can be cycled in the early game if we needed to, if we're looking for something else, right? If we're facing a lot of aggro and we need to cycle because we're looking for one of our sweepers, then we can always do that. But overall, it's really no different than Demolish, to be honest. We're playing 2 Primal Amulets. This decreases the casting cost of all of our instants and sorcery spells by 1. And then once we cast 4 instant and sorcery spells, it flips to Primal Wellspring, which allows us to copy any of our instant and sorcery spells, which is super sweet. We are playing 4 Spreading Rot, so 4 and then 1 black to destroy target land. Its controller loses 2 life. Again, land destruction can kind of act as a finisher later on in the game if we needed to, especially with a flipped Wellspring, works super well. Pretty much our other finisher of the game is Angrath the Flame Chained. Basically, again, we're looking at removing our opponent's hand so that they can't do anything. So his +1 ability allows us to do that. His -3 ability allows us to steal a creature to attack. We can also then take that creature and then sack it to Argyle's Bloodfast, which is pretty sweet. And then his finisher can just end out the game, right, his -8. We are running 2 Star of Extinction. Now this is some pretty diesel land destruction, as well as a sweeper. However, I only have 2 of them, and I don't really feel like spending the mythics on a card that's probably never going to see play in any other deck. So, taking a look at our mana base, we have 2 Ifnir Deadlands. This kind of acts as creature removal if we need it later on in the game, which is really nice. 6 Swamps, 4 Memorial of War. It does enter the battlefield tapped, but the next turn we can sack it to destroy another land. Again, just denying them of all resources possible. We have 7 Mountains, 2 Canyon Sloughs, which can be cycled later on in the game if we don't need the mana. 2 Dragon Skull Summits. Ideally, I'd like to see these at 4 each, but I just haven't spent the wild cards on them just yet. And we have 2 Field of Ruin. This can be used to hold an opponent off a color if we need to, right? If they're using a dual land to get that 1 color that they need, or it can be used to destroy a flipped Azcanta or Hadana's Climb. So that's that. And that's about it for the deck, guys. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. There are some critiques I might make, but we'll play some games, see how it goes. Just overall, it really feels like, other than Angrath and Lightning Strike, there's not many ways to win the game with this deck, so it's pretty much just denying your opponent until they quit, which can be fun as well too, but nobody likes playing against that. So we'll play a couple matches with it, and we'll see how it goes. you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. Thank you so much.